Okay, I think I have 10 days of funding left for the Crow Discovery Project, and this is a compilation clip, and it also gives me a chance to practice some editing, zooms, dynamic color and brightness changes, things like that. Anyhow, this is the Boomerang, or at least I call it the Boomerang. I filmed this some time back. It was in 2012, I believe. But what I've done here today is tried to zoom in and get a better sense of the shape of it, so we'll just watch for a second here. And then I'll put up a graphic about what I think the shape of this thing is. Here you can see a still, and those look round, but in different angles they may be angular, they may be more box-like than round. But the graphic that I made right here shows them as round, and you can clearly see that one end is open like a boomerang shape. And here's another view. Oh, okay. Finish out this run. And you can tell this object is definitely under intelligent control. I don't know if it's programmed or there's someone sitting in this thing. I have no idea. But it's absolutely under control. It comes in and it spins halfway one direction, and right here it spins back the other direction. And then he noses down, noses up just past horizontal, and then he kind of levels off and flies out of frame. Now I caught another object that was similar to this one back in 2012. This is it, and it either has a companion object or the angle of it is making that dot look like it's moving away. I'm not sure. Some people used to think it was a shadow, but I don't see it going over the lunar limb, so I doubt if it's a shadow. But as it goes over the Mar here, the dark spot, you'll see that dot pull away right there. And that's why it was kind of deceptive, looking like it might be a shadow. And here's the last view of this object at about 600% zoom. And again, as it goes over this bluish Mar, you'll see that dot pull away. I think it's probably connected to the thing, and it's just the angle making it look like that. And this object was shot in 2013, and it's really quick, but I'll tell you what, it's nowhere near the speed of a satellite. We've filmed many satellites, and I include one in the very end of this clip just so folks can see what satellites look like. This is slowed down to 30%, and you can see that kind of typewriter motion, and again, it's got the halo. And if you zoom it in Photoshop and take a frame, it has a reddish hue to the core as well, which you can kind of detect right here. But you can definitely see the halo. Okay, this is a smaller object coming in at the right here. This was shot in 2014. And I'll zoom in on him here. I kind of experimented with some editing here, pulling back and pulling in while the object's moving. And again, you can see the halo. It's really heavy on the upper side of this. It's not even at all. And I put a filter on to kind of demonstrate the halo effect, but I blended it with the original clip so that it's not too heavy. But you can distinctly see the halo and that it's thicker on one side than the other. Here comes the object in at the top. This one was an unusual catch because it was in frame for a minute, and I don't think I've ever had one of these lunar transits in frame for so long. And this one also has a tiny little halo on it. It's probably due to the distance that it is away from the camera. And again, I experimented with some editing, doing a pull-in while it's moving and then pulling back out. But you can see the halo on this. We'll only take one look at this because it's in frame for so long. The halo on that object is a little more even. It seems kind of equidistant all the way around. And I did a little edit there where I pulled in and out while I was tracking, just to see if it works or if it's worth doing in the future. And there's the Aristarchus Crater, which is a very mysterious place. Never looks the same on any two maps you see. Many people think it's a power plant. And this is the object that I shot in 2014, and a lot of people think it looks like that Dark Knight satellite. They've been chemtrailing heavy. As a matter of fact, you can kind of see the chemtrail crap floating through frame. It was kind of mixed in with the mist of that as I shot. Here it is again with contrast and brightness manipulated and a little bit of sharpening. And you can see that it spins one way and then it kind of levels out the other as it goes out of frame. So again, this one is in intelligent control. And that's the last view of this object. And one night we were shooting and we picked up a passenger plane. It's about 3 miles away from us, I guess, something like that. But it was kind of astonishing the amount of exhaust that comes out of these things. It was really persistent too. It hung around for a while. So I figured I'd just include it. It's kind of a cool shot. Alright, moving on. We called this one the Winnebago. Believe it or not, this was shot when it was not quite dark outside. It appears dark in the footage because I'm using a light filter for city lights to knock that out. But it was actually, the sky was a little bit blue to our naked eyes. And here's a zoom in on that object. And it has a massive halo. And many people think this is a bug or a bird. It's not. It's in space, probably much closer to us. This object was shot in 2014, right before the eclipse. And it's pretty quick, but again, nowhere near as quick as the satellites that we can actually ID. Maybe about, I don't know, a third of the speed of a satellite. Here it is slowed down, and you can tell when I track with the camera, it becomes perfectly round. So there's kind of a speed blur, but watch as I track with the camera near the bottom here. Right there, it becomes perfectly round for just a second. Now here is the satellite. We'll come in at the lower right. This is full speed, and it will haul butt. If I remember correctly, this is the Bright PL satellite. Now, people are going to say this is a bird. It is not a bird. This object was confirmed from 2 states. We simultaneously viewed these 2 objects in Arizona and California, 500 miles apart. Now, you can see the kind of solar wings on this thing. I think it was called the Bright PL satellite, but it's long. There's the unknown object that it passes, and you can see, you know, it looks like a satellite. And then I pan back over to the unknown. Now, these were, I was on the phone, and this was viewed in real time from 500 miles away. So we know for a fact that that was the Bright PL satellite. When we did a double lookup on it, we saw it at the same time. We confirmed it live. And I wanted to include that just to show the satellites are much, much quicker. And they pretty much look like you expect them to look, like a satellite you think it would look with the solar wings and all that. They're long, sometimes they're spinning around, but they don't look like these black unknowns, which, who knows, they're not listed. I don't know if they're military or what they are, or if they're little aliens. At any rate, I've got roughly 10 days left in funding, and thank you all. Cheers.